Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1980s.
You killed my Bogie. Not with your hands. You had your little demon do it for you.
This is episode 235, recorded June 14th, 2023.
Gruesome Magazine.
Man, Crystal really put her acting chops into that one, boy.
Thanks, Chad.
Yeah, I was scared. Scared me.
So tough. So tough.
My name is Jeff Mohr, and this podcast is about horror films released between 1980 and 1989. Each episode, my co-hosts Bill Mulligan, Crystal Cleveland, Chad Hunt, and I will tackle another classic or not so classic film from this radical, gory, influential, and gruesome decade. You know, I think we should have called May the not so classic month. Not so classic May.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Too late now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joining me tonight is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl, and co-host of the Gruesome Magazine podcast. How you doing, Crystal?
I'm great. I haven't seen any super adorable monkeys lately, but I mean, whatever. I guess on television is enough.
How about evil spawn of hell monkeys?
No,
With razor
you can't
blades.
convince me. You can't convince me that beautiful, cute little hug. Oh, so sweet.
Then it peed on him.
Probably.
Also joining us is Chad Hunt, comic book artist and co-host of Decades of Horror, the Classic Era, and the 1970s. Chad, how you doing?
I am sitting here thinking.
Oh,
it's
no.
awfully conspicuous that Bill isn't here tonight when we're doing a movie about a monkey with a straight razor.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's how
We all know
that's
the
how-
truth.
Yeah, we know what Bill's cowering in the shower with the shower curtain.
I know. He
Yeah.
he tried to watch the movie and hadn't recovered yet.
Yeah.
There is a cover story, but I'm not buying it yet.
The dog ate my
All right.
homework again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so as you might have seen or heard now, Bill Mulligan is not able to be with us tonight. But we are forging ahead with this week's topic. I also want to remind people that Decades of Horror and Gruesome Magazine are partnering with Play Now Media on several of their channels. Decades for the 1980s is on the Wicked Horror TV channel, and we're gradually getting episodes uploaded to the free horror channel there. So you can check those out, and you can find those almost anywhere. Like on Fire TV and Apple TV, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So
The plan for world domination is coming to fruition.
yeah, and there's some good stuff. I watched Beast of Haunted Cave on one of their channels a couple days ago.
Chad's face. What is it? Chad's like
It's
what?
I just thought Jeff was going to break into some Dean Martin number the way he's
Oh, we're like West Side
Everybody
Story.
loves somebody.
I was gonna do the Raisins Grapevine. Heard it on the grapevine. All right, stop it.
Okay, this
on
is how ridiculous I am. When you said raisins, I thought South Park because they have instead of a Hooters, they have raisins. Welcome to Raisins. Hey, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
They do, yeah.
Sorry.
Bye, Jeff.
That shows my maturity here, okay? It's like, hey, welcome to Raisins. Hey,
Happy
sweetie.
raisins.
So how long do you suppose I've had this guy?
Oh,
Since the
I mean,
80s.
have you really had it since the 80s? I
California
mean, they came
raisins.
back out with
Probably.
merchandise.
I think that's when they came out, when the commercials were out.
Yeah.
He's long enough he lost an arm. Oh, his arm's over there. It's holding the microphone. All right. That's the reason I was talking about. And, only when you're this old can you remember stupid stuff like that. So on this podcast, we'll start by giving some basic details of the film we're covering, get our first impressions of the movie, some taglines, and kind of take off down the road talking about this. So our film today
Yay.
If you looked at the title of this episode, is Monkey Shines from 1988. Directed by George Romero, and the screenplay was written by George Romero from the novel of the same title by Michael Stewart. The cast includes Jason Bogie, John Pankow, Kate McNeil, Joyce Van Patten, Christine Forrest, Stephen Root, Stanley Tucci, and Janine Turner. And I think I have Tucci spelled wrong there. There's no E on the end of that, is there?
Yeah, there's just an I. The E is silent.
Yeah. My apologies, Mr. Tucci. So, kind of a,
Stanley
this
Touche.
was one of those movies that these guys all went on to pretty extensive careers. The production company at the time was Orion Pictures, filmed in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, USA. From July 11th through September 1987. The release date was July 29th, 1988, with an estimated budget of $7 million. Domestic box office, $5.3 million. The working title was Ella, which is the name of the monkey. In Germany, it was known as Der Affe im Menschen, which means the ape in man. And a Mexico video title was Manerias Diabolicus, which means devilish cuteness.
I don't know about cute. I mean, look at that monkey's face. She needs to get a good skincare routine going, because look at those age spots and everything.
I know. Well, the title is kind of a play on another meaning of the word monkey shines, which is kind of cute shenanigans, right?
I guess.
But
call it straight razor, slicing people up with straight razor.
I'm not talking about the movie. I'm just saying, if you just heard somebody go, "Oh, they're up to their monkey shines," that was.
I think they had a straight razor. And
I don't know. I didn't know what that means. Is that actually a phrase? Does that mean something?
Oh yeah.
What does it mean, actually?
What I just said, I think.
It's like up to cuteness.
No, it's like
the kid's drawing on the wall in crayon, and somebody goes, "He's drawing on the wall. Oh, ain't he cute?"
That was monkey shines,
He's just doing monkey shines.
I have literally never heard a single person use that at all. That phrase.
It's old.
Ever.
Mischievous. It's mischievous behavior. That's the definition on the.
Okay, that makes sense, though. Yeah.
Online dictionary of Oxford languages. So. But apparently hasn't been in use since the 80s, at least.
This is the last time I heard it, was when this movie came out.
Probably. It might have been in like some old Popeye cartoons or something too. All right. So those are the things. I just thought it was devilish cuteness was a weird translation of that. The synopsis is a quadriplegic man has a trained monkey help him with his paralysis until the little monkey begins to develop feelings and rage against its new master. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun. Yep.
Okay. Well, guess what, folks? This one is
chicken butt.
Crystal's pick.
Yes, chicken butt. Oldie but goodie.
This is Crystal's pick. So what are your impressions on this?
So I did see this as a kid, but I got to be honest with you. As a kid, I remember it being way scarier than it was this time. So I don't know what that means, but also, I liked it as a kid, but I only remember watching it one time, and I've never watched it since until now. So I can kind of see why I liked it as a kid, but didn't love it, because in reality, it's got a lot of boring at the beginning. It's a good movie, and it's spooky and a little scary when the monkey but really it's just kind of cute and kind of a beginning of a love story. And there's a long space where it's just boring.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a huge Stanley Tucci fan, though, so I love him so much. He's wonderful. So I had no idea who he was as a kid, but I recognized him now in the movie, and so that was fun. I think it's well acted. I think it's shot really well. I mean, it's one of the better stories from any 80s horror movie, clearly. I mean, it's Stephen King here, and then George Romero. Like, I mean, so it's hard to go wrong, but I definitely see from my childhood perspective that just didn't have enough gore and horror for me. I really enjoyed it this time around, and I think I probably enjoyed it more now than I did then. I think then I just remember being like, oh, okay, it's good. You know, as a kid, you kind of just go for whatever just is a feast for your eyes. But yeah, I think the story's great. It's cute. And, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good. I mean, I think it's worth a watch for every horror fan.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's a good flick. Yeah.
Okie doke. Yeah. It's George Romero, you know, you got to do George Romero. And Michael Stewart was a pretty good writer. I have that book, and I read it when it came out in 1983, but
did I say Stephen King? I thought it was Stephen King.
Yeah.
No, Michael Stewart.
We didn't want to say anything.
Y'all should have said something. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. What made me think it was Stephen King?
Because of the monkey.
Maybe.
George Romero, yeah. Well,
skeleton.
My bad.
This is why you thought Stephen King.
Not that.
Not that. The poster. We'll come back to that, but
I remember that poster. Okay. So see, that's why. Okay. That makes a lot more sense now. Okay. Thank you.
Chad, how about you? When did you first see this, and what are your first and current impressions?
I saw this as a young man too. I rented it. I rented the VHS from Blockbuster, I think it was, and took it home to watch it. And it was George Romero, so that was the big draw for me. And I wasn't too thrilled with it back then, and I'm still not that thrilled with it. It's a good movie, but how do I say this? It's a good movie, but it's not my favorite George Romero film by far.
Yeah.
And it's a good thriller. I mean, it's a good edge of your seat type of thriller, because I know watching it, you're like, where's the monkey? Where is it? Where is it? It could be anywhere, you know. It was all over the place. And I hated that monkey so bad when I first watched this. I couldn't stand it, that little thing running around loose, and nobody could catch it. But yeah, it's a good thriller. Has a little bit of sci-fi thrown in there as well. And I like the acting in it. John Bogie had this affectation, the way he talked, that kind of annoyed me a little bit. It's like he's talking through his teeth the whole time. And you know, maybe
Jason.
That's it. What did I say?
John.
Stephen King. Did I say Stephen King?
Yeah.
I
well, I I think we got a hat trick going here because I misspelled Stanley Tucci. So.
But yeah, I think it's a good movie. It's not the first George Romero movie I would recommend to somebody, though. Yeah, but I always feel that it's whenever George is doing something for a bigger studio, like a major studio or something with a bigger budget, it never quite comes across as Romero as much, because he doesn't have as much control, I don't think. But and that's really the only gripe I have about it. Otherwise, it's a good flick, I think.
Yeah, and I think as we get into this, we'll find out that is exactly kind of what happened. But I'm kind of the same way, you know. Even watching it now, when it originally came out, I think I kind of liked it. I wasn't a kid, but it's some kind of cool ideas. You know, we got some science fiction. We got the brain juice. Or whatever it is that's supposed to make the monkey smart, but of course it's never just that. It also makes him evil and controlling, and then there's some sort of weird psychic connection between them, right? And I think I love the monkey too. I mean, not because it's a likable character, but because of all the cool stuff it does. You know,
So
I don't know
cute.
how long it took him to get him to do that. And this is another one of those movies that we'll kind of get into here in a minute that has the cast. When you look at the cast, it's like even the people that you wouldn't normally, you know, in a movie, the second and third levels that maybe you wouldn't know have gone on to pretty well known or pretty you know, stellar careers. So yeah, anyway, now watching it this time, I definitely thought this runs, it's a little short of 2 hours, and it's it doesn't need to be that long. There are some places where you're kind of going, let's get on with it. But everything has its place too. You can sort of see why everything that's in there is in there. It's a very detailed, kind of long, involved story. Although there's a couple of threads that seem like they just sort of get dropped. I don't really know what happened, but anyway. So at this point, we should move on to...
Oh, yay. I can't wait.
Taglines. Taglines with Chad.
I was trying to make a monkey sound.
That was a nice attempt.
You could kind of tell where I was.
It sounded more like an owl than I'm like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, our taglines for Monkey Shines are as follows: a man trapped within his own body, an animal trained to read and carry out thoughts, one with a mind for revenge, the other with an instinct for carrying out that revenge, and then the other one on the other side of the room.
Okay. Yeah, that was too much.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one. Man has only been the only animal capable of murder until now.
What?
That's not true.
How is that? Yeah, like, what are they talking about? Animals murder other animals all the time. I mean, they eat them, but they still murder them.
They do. They do.
Maybe what he means is there's no murder trials or something. You know, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe they mean the murderous intent, but there has been cases of animals murdering other animals and not eating them. So you can't even say that.
Right.
So
we're giving these taglines way too much credence here.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
All right, the next one.
Where's a science teacher when you need one?
Oh, see, yeah.
He's at home cowering in his bathtub,
thinking about the monkey with the
sucking his thumb, waiting for the podcast to be over. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, think no evil, mathematically decline evil. Whatever.
Are you making that up?
Yes.
I should have got my monkeys. I got a little brass one of those. Hear no,
that's a good
hear
song,
no, see no,
brass
speak
monkey.
no.
Brass monkey.
I don't know how you would make it
monkey.
think no evil.
Yeah.
All right, the next one, an experiment in fear. Which
Okay.
when I remember this movie first came out, it was just called Monkey Shines. I don't remember an experiment in fear.
Yeah, what it was that? It was
after
on
that.
the end of it. It was like a colon and then that. Yeah, that was wild.
But it was just when it first came out, it was just called Monkey Shines, not that. Anyway.
And now for the piece that is.
All right, and for our last tagline. Once there was a man whose prison was a chair. The man had a monkey, they made the strangest pair. The man was a captive, the monkey held the key. No matter how he strained, the man couldn't flee. Locked in his dungeon, terrified and frail. The monkey wielding power, keeping him in jail. The man tried to keep the monkey from his brain, but every move he made became the monkey's game. The monkey ruled the man, it climbed inside his head. And now as fate would have it, one of them is dead.
That was excellent. That was excellent. Like, that was too good. They should hire you for that. Big bucks.
For a 30-year-old movie.
Yep.
Or more than that.
That was awesome. We just so people know, we never know what's going to happen when Chad does the tagline.
Neither do
That's why it's more fun not to know.
That's right. Spontaneous, impromptu.
It's unscripted, like my life. It's unscripted.
Word.
And that's been Taglines with Chad.
Yay.
Okay.
Thank God.
I'm just feeling funny. Okay. So let's just.
I've been told my singing does that to people.
I know. I got kind of all tingly there for a minute.
Okay.
I was trying to change this. There we go.
So
here's the poster, and I don't know. There's a lot of print at the top of there.
That's what he read.
Is that two of our taglines?
We're all another.
Yeah, well, what he read was a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
And this is the Stephen King short story, The Monkey, made use of this same image. And this really has nothing to do with the movie, other than it's a scary toy monkey that never appears in the movie.
Well, yeah.
A poster.
I've had made that same mistake, Crystal, thinking this movie was. When I think of it, I was like, "That's Stephen King, isn't it?"
Yeah.
Yeah. I do remember this for sure. This is actually what I remember. I think that's what made me watch the movie. Whatever this.
Sure. Well, we have some interesting actors and stuff. So we have George Romero, and I don't have slides for all this stuff. We just have some basic ones this time around. But I think it's interesting that, not surprisingly, I guess, because it is George Romero, special effects were Tom Savini.
Oh, cool.
Friend of the show.
Special makeup effects assistants were Greg Nicotero, who is now the N of K&B effects, and super involved with The Walking Dead when that was going on. So anyway, and
Evil Dead
Creep
2.
Show, you mentioned the TV show. Yeah. So anyway, and I'm not the other two special makeup effects assistants were Everett Burrell and Mike Trcic.
Everett Burrell is a famous makeup dude.
And I thought it was interesting. They had somebody listed as motion control graphics, Alexandra Menapace. And I don't know anything about her, but she had kind of a career with stuff like this. But I had to look it up and go, because they give titles to people, and I don't know what they mean. So what is a motion control graphics? A technique that allows a precise control and the repetition of camera movements. There's also some special effects in photography that are created using motion control. A good example is where a single camera is used to film different elements and then merging the elements into a single image.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm wondering, where were the...
What were the scenes that had that in it?
Well, that had the special effects or that had that in it. Not to delay too much, but Savini also was a stuntman on here. And also a stunt person was Patricia Tallman, who later starred in the remake of Night of the Living Dead, correct? And I think...
And she was the witch in Army of Darkness.
Okay.
Okay, wasn't she in... was it Babylon 5 or...
Oh, I love
Battlestar Galactica. I forget.
I love both those.
I think she was in one of them, but I can't remember which one.
Yeah, and you probably could have said it if I would have just kept my mouth shut and not confused the situation here.
You're doing great, Jeff.
Babylon 5. If they ever came out with that on Blu-rays, I would buy it.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, so that I mean that shows the and Stephen Kirchhoff mentioned his special effects as well. So it's hard to tell where the makeup and the practical comes in, and then visual and special effects. I don't know where the dividing line is for all that stuff.
I think Everett Burrell, one of the other makeup guy, I think, excuse me, I think he and John Vulich did makeup for
Beechler?
the Night of the River, not Beechler.
Oh, okay.
Vulich and him did makeup for the Night of the Living Dead remake. Okay. Tom Savini directed. I think it was Everett Burrell.
There's a lot of the stuff with the monkey where I think they did a great job in the editing and intercutting, where they actually had the monkey doing something and then spliced in like a puppet hand or something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, was the monkey... Surely the monkey wasn't actually feeding him, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it looked real, but that's not sanitary. Ew. You know what monkeys do? They touch their poop. Okay, it's just a fact. It's a thing. So it's not sanitary. So, ew. Just saying. I'm not trying to put down.
I don't know. It looked like a real.
It did look real. That's why I was. Well, I was having a debate because I was like, "Oh hell no, no! Surely that monkey isn't really feeding him." But this was the '80s.
Yeah, nobody cared then. It was before COVID. Nobody.
They weren't thinking about. Well, I don't think about COVID. I think about E. coli. Ugh.
I think that was even before E. coli became a big thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was around, but nobody knew what it was. I don't know. I don't think. I didn't know what it was because I touched my poop all the time back then. And
he also, Everett Burrell also did work on Pan's Labyrinth.
I love. Oh,
okay.
That's cool. I mean, that's very.
And Babylon 5, and as you mentioned, Night of the Living Dead. So a lot of interconnections in this stuff. Let's take a look at the cast. Here's Ella and Jason Begay.
That monkey is so cute. Oh my god, I can't stand it.
They just look like both of them are in the same. They're both synced into that evil stare.
Yes, it's great. And what's great is it does look like they are, of one mind. It's clever and smart that he has brown eyes. It makes it work better. And God, that monkey's cute.
This is their bunkle or munkle stage. Monkey's uncle and a monkey. They're a munkle when they're together.
He's working for it.
I'm sure you probably all think this is an Irish coffee, but it's not.
Yeah. Irish coffee. All right.
Bailey's.
Well, and Jason Begay, this is not his first role, but he is now like a big stud on is it Chicago PD?
Oh yeah, no, I've never seen that, but I know he's been in a ton of stuff.
Yeah, 208 episodes of Chicago PD over the last 10 years. And Chicago Fire before that, and Chicago Med, a few episodes of that, and he's got over 100 credits. Did some episodes of Californication.
Oh, I love Californication.
So this is, early in his career. He was in a show called First and 10 right before this.
Like football?
HBO. Was that HBO? I think it was an HBO show. 23
episodes. And then The Days and Nights of Molly Dodd, but that's only one episode. A movie called Mail to Order. And a movie called Compromising Positions. That's it before this one.
Sounds familiar.
And then lots of TV and movies scattered through there. Some I recognize, some I don't. Played a state trooper in Thelma and Louise.
Oh, that's fun.
Anyway, we'll have our offsite research department send in other things that we missed here. Anyway, well, then we get to his girlfriend at the start of the movie when he's a track star, apparently, is Janine Turner. And I immediately know her from Northern Exposure.
Yeah. She had a real short haircut in that show, though, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. Yeah. She did. Flannel shirt and jeans and hiking boots was the standard.
Look at that necklace. That is so 80s. Holy moly.
And she plays a real self-serving person. Or maybe the doctor's worse. I don't know. What's your take on that,
I think
Crystal?
the doctor's worse. Because the doctor, like they said, of course, she's horrible for what she did. But the doctor potentially caused him to be...
Right.
a quadriplegic. That's horrible. Okay. That's way worse than she. And I would say for sure she knew nothing about that. So, yes, the doctors...
Second opinions are important.
Yes, for sure. That was horrible.
Wow,
I was wondering, as I was watching, I was like, God, he just got hit by a car and cheese and rice. Must have been rough. Mm-hmm. Bad.
So she had done a lot of, 1 and 2 episodes. She was in, she did 42 episodes on General Hospital, the soap opera in the early 80s. So she paid her dues by then, and she has kind of a thankless part here. Looks like she's going to be key, but she's really not. She's exits fairly early on. Mm-hmm. Also, Cliffhanger. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember
Cliffhanger?
That show.
Oh.
Stallone
Dracula.
movie.
Oh, that Cliffhanger. I thought you meant the TV show.
No, and in some kind of really weird interconnection, other dimension. She was in a movie called Birdie and Bogie.
Birdie and Bogie?
Yeah.
Birdie and Bogie.
Which has nothing to do with this movie where there's a little birdie named Bogie, but that's just weird.
That is kind of weird.
So, and here's his buddy, let's get his doctor in there, Stanley Tucci. One of those acts like a nice guy, smiles a lot, but has no problem stealing the girl of a quadriplegic.
Well, or making the dude a quadriplegic so he could get the girl. Okay, that's
his
the
patient.
Worst part. Yeah.
Scumbag. Tucci, you're a scumbag. You hear me, Tucci?
He's wonderful.
Well, he was in a movie recently, and I forget what the name of it was. Was it Silence? Yeah, it was like that bunch of movies, that
like A Quiet Place almost.
Right. Or the Bird or whatever, the one that
Bird Box.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're well informed here on DOH.
You know what? We don't have to know everything. We don't have to
we know it's there.
Yes, it exists.
The Silence is the name of it, and it was 2019.
Oh, yes. I do remember that movie, I think. Well, no, maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I don't trust myself anymore.
We're all crazy. Oh, also, we could have seen it, and I just happened to notice this. I didn't see it when it happened, but when they have I assume it's the welcome home party for Alan, is Jason Begay's character's name. Patricia Tallman was one of the party guests. All right, so those are the evil kind of people. Well, and then there's Christine Forrest, who plays the nurse that's supposed to take care of him, that hates the monkey.
She makes me laugh, though, how she just sits around and gets so pissed.
I know.
It's so funny. I'm like, Jesus.
Whenever somebody comes, she's lounging on the couch reading the paper or something.
She's a horrible person.
So she's George Romero's wife, right, was in most of his movies, or many of his movies, let's put it that way. Dawn of the Dead, Night Riders, Creep Show, Two Evil Eyes, The Dark Half, and Bruiser. But this is maybe one of the bigger parts, I think.
She did a great job.
She always does a good job.
the mother hires her to come in and take care of the kid, right? Or the son,
The
Alan.
kid.
And, well,
I
her
love
kid.
it. That's how the
And-
mom treats the kid. Yeah.
And I don't have a picture, but his mother is played by Joyce Van Patten, who is, I don't know. I want to say she's
his wife or something.
Yeah.
That's what I was. Is it? Is she
Yeah,
related?
yeah. Actually, as a matter of fact,
Okay.
yeah.
She's been in quite a
Yeah.
bit of stuff, I think. Yeah.
She is. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's her older brother. It's brother and sister.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
We make mistakes, but we try to fix them. She has 159 credits. So been out there doing stuff. She does a good job too, because she's kind of sympathetic, but at the same time it gets to a point where it's kind of about her, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think she's totally sympathetic because it's her son and his girlfriend left him. I think the truth is it seems less like she's trying to help, but the only reason it feels that way is because of the rage that the monkey puts in the son. I don't think the son at all would react that way to her otherwise.
Yeah, you're right.
Like that rage.
Right.
makes him
Oh,
seem
you're
like
right. You're right.
Yeah. And so it kind of skews your perception of it because really
That's a good point.
Yeah, she's really just trying to help him. And yeah, she might be a little too much in his business, but what mom wouldn't be? Jeez.
It did
And I
touch
was
your nerve though, because she wailed on his face while he was in bed.
Oh yeah, that was super bad. Like the one slap, he probably did deserve the one. The one slap, I was like, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But when she hit him after that, I was like, no.
She commenced a whooping and a whopping.
Then she reminded me of that damn parakeet at that point.
That parakeet, man, it was dead after his eyeball, man.
God, the parakeet was a horrible.
Oh, it
freaking-
was. That was nasty.
Horrible.
He
Attacks.
must have glued tiny bird seed to his eyeball or something.
I wonder, yeah, like parakeets are so sweet. It was just very odd. What an angry bird.
Well, this is his, I guess his it's his college buddy or something, or I didn't quite follow the timing of this. But he's got a lab on campus and he's doing experiments on these monkeys, and he's injecting them with this stuff. I don't know what he's doing there. Is he trying to inject himself?
Yes,
Same
that's what
thing.
Wait, was that when he injected himself with the monkey stuff? Or I don't remember when this was.
Because the human stuff was green, like reagent.
Yeah, so this is when he's trying to connect with Ellie. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to tell because he gives that little speech about how he figured out that if you don't sleep, you gain an extra day every 3 days.
Mhm.
By the time you're 45, you've lived 60 years or something like that.
You probably look like it too.
Yeah.
I
I missed
Another
one night
guy.
of sleep and I look 20 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very recognizable to me now. He's only got 50 credits, but he was you remember the show Mad About You?
Mm-hmm.
He was a buddy in that.
Yep.
So he was there all the time. He's a kind of a good comedic actor too, I think. And in this, he uses his friend as an experiment.
But I also kind of sympathize with him. I feel like he really was trying to do the best thing for his friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he knew that she wouldn't accept the monkey if the monkey had been altered. I mean, I always try to look at the heart behind it. And man, if it had worked out and the monkey hadn't gone all rage demon, it would have been fabulous for the friend.
Well, so that's Don Penkow, I think. But he's he's got good intention, and it looks like it works out great at first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then but see, he should have stopped injecting the monkey. Why did he just keep injecting her?
I don't know.
That's why I'm like, the monkey's doing fine. The monkey's doing what the monkey's doing. Like, what are you thinking?
Well, but the monkey got like addicted because the monkey started
the monkey
stealing
started wanting
the
it.
stuff and hiding it in his
Weird.
So so here's who becomes the new girlfriend, Kate McNeil, who's cute as a button, and she trains monkeys for these types of
I don't make monkeys, I just train them.
Services. Her character is Melanie, and there is an interesting. Apparently, this is like one of the first quadriplegic love scenes.
It's the first one I ever saw.
You saw it, right?
Remember?
And a silence.
Yeah.
A pall fell over the.
Yeah, I'm like, well, yeah. It wasn't that weird to me, I guess. I don't know. I've done some research on this, and so like.
Wait a minute.
I don't remember why. There was a reason why, but like they said, like this guy who was a quadriplegic said that he has his orgasms in his neck, which is crazy. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everything can still work. It can or it can't. You know, it was because of Vikings. Because he was a paraplegic.
What?
And then I was like, but why are they acting like he can't have sex? But some of them do have an issue with it, but there's plenty of them that can.
Well, that's good news.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad
they just feel their orgasm in a different area. So that's probably more than I had to know. I was like, that seems silly. Like that doesn't make any. But yeah, sorry. So
the producer,
that's cool to know.
The producer Charles Evans said that the oral sex scene between Kate McNeil and Jason Begay was much more explicit as originally shot. Quote, "We had a pretty raw scene of explicit sex, and George kept toning it down and toning it down. I wanted it to be a little grittier, but George didn't see it that way. As I look back now and see the result, I think he was right."
Yeah, because
so
that'd be kind of weird. Yeah,
it was tastefully done.
Yeah.
George isn't that kind of director to go.
Yeah,
for
that probably was super awkward for him anyway. You know,
he got the point across.
Mm-hmm.
Zombies, okay, but so now just let me see here if I've got these other ones up. We need to look at the star of the show, and this guy, and here he is. So his buddy Pankow figures out what's going on with the monkeys, and he brings 2 syringes of poison with him.
Yeah, why? Just in
case? I don't know. I guess. Just in case he has trouble. And the monkey injects him with one of them. And
that was a really cool scene, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Because, I mean, they put the editing, and that's what, you know, I don't know if George edited this film, but that whole scene of the monkey injecting, and then it shows the monkey pushing down on the plunger. It's just that was a great scene. Great sequence.
Like I love how smart the monkey electrocuting the mom. I was like, oh god,
that was awesome.
That was so effed up, but funny. Okay, yeah, funny. I was like, because the monkey's so smart, clever.
Just tossed it in, like screamed at her first, and then tossed it in.
The editor was Pasquale
Bubba.
Yeah.
He's worked. Yeah, he's worked.
He did the original Dawn of the Dead and Heat.
I remember from Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. So anyway,
and I'm sure George helped him out a little bit. George is an awesome editor.
Yeah.
Of his own films.
So, but yeah, that was great, and I love the scene where he's basically dying, but he was laughing so much.
Well, it was some kind of tranquilizer, or
right.
It wasn't like death serum or anything like that. It was like he said he put enough in this syringe to kill an elephant or something like that.
Right.
So, but it was some kind of
maybe
Panadol or something.
Just would have been smarter if he put in enough to actually a little over tranquilize the monkey, and he would have survived.
Yeah.
But I mean, what do I know? Like, because, dude.
Well, so anyway.
It's so cute.
This is when the monkey Melanie, Kate
You're gonna
McNeil,
feel a little pinch, dear.
is out cold on the floor, and he goes over there to stick it in her, and Jason Begay is screaming from his wheelchair to not do it, and the monkey's just sort of like, how many different ways can I poke this around and turn it and not actually? It was a great scene though, because you're just cringing. And he really knows how to wield that.
Look how cute the monkey.
I brought a needle today for show and tell.
You want some? I hear an evil laugh in that shot. So yeah. So it's cool to start with. You know, he's running around. He's turning on music. He gives them these little treats. Pretty soon, the monkey steals the box of treats. I love it. Keeps it hidden in his cage under the blanket. It's like a little kid in a bag of potato chips or candy or something, you know.
Sweet.
But he gets nasty, and he figures out he's smart enough to know how to turn off the power.
Yes.
And then when Jeff, John Pacow's character, comes in and the lights out, he goes to turn on the breaker, and it keeps shorting out and going down, and that's what drives him to go find Mom in the bathtub. Anyway, it's really kind of intricately plotted, but it just feels a little long. Now, this guy, I would have liked to see more of Stephen Root. This is his first.
What happened to him?
film.
Like, he just kind of went.
He's still around. I think he's doing a lot of.
No.
In the movie.
In the movie.
In the
Okay.
movie. Yeah. Like,
He's the
he just
nasty.
kind of, I know but he just kind of.
He had a weird name. What was his name?
Burbage.
Burbage, yeah.
Burbage.
Dean Burbage. Okay, so he's trying to, I don't know. He's like, I don't know what he's doing. He's running around sabotaging this Jeffrey Fisher's, John Pankow's experiments, I guess.
Is he the one that let the monkeys out?
I think, but it doesn't make any sense. I don't know if the monkeys let the monkeys out. It seems like we see that he's like broken into his lab and done stuff, but we never see him again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What happened to him?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's a thread that kind of got dropped. We don't know what happened.
Should have showed him behind his desk with a needle stuck in his neck.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, and then plot hole filled.
Yeah.
So maybe that was part of the extra length that got cut. I don't know. But he's a great actor, and it's interesting to know this was his first movie role.
I love him, and just about anything he's in, I love him.
Me too.
He always puts a nice twist on it. He plays evil great, but he also plays, like we were talking earlier about Office Space, and the stapler.
He's wonderful.
He's just great. So I think I got all our pictures up there. So we have a ton of feedback, and I want to make sure we get the feedback, but I don't want to short this movie. So anything else we need to talk about here?
No. It's just a good movie. I like it a lot.
I think everyone should give Bill crap for not being here because of his fear of monkeys.
Yeah, we learned in Phenomena.
Straight razors.
Phenomena.
Yes.
That he didn't. He had a thing with, and that one was a chimpanzee with a razor.
Yes.
Yeah, it almost had a conniption.
Yeah.
About that. So
that's
anybody listening, just send some emails Bill's way.
We all have our fears. It's okay.
No. It's okay if I get made if I take a ribbon for the cut off hands thing, but you're willing to give Bill a pass on this. No, that's not going to work for moi.
Okay.
I support.
He did pick a lot of severed hand movies there right in a row.
Yeah.
Between 70s and 80s. Okay.
Mr. Funny Guy.
Yeah.
Mr. Funny Guy. All right. Well, this is good. Where was this? Where did you guys watch this?
Tubi.
Yes, Tubi.
I think it's on Tubi. I think it's on a couple of pay-per-view services too. Like
it is like for like $4.
Oh.
Yeah.
To be or not to be.
So whatever you prefer. But check it out. I mean, it's George Romero, and it's nasty. I mean, George says they did mess with the ending, that they tested. There's a darker ending. And you know what? I was going to search for that darker ending, but I didn't, because I'm sure it's available to check out. That he says was less optimistic. It implied the film's evil forces were still at work. But the audience test results were very strongly towards having a happy ending like we did in this one. So he decided to go along and not fight it. Now, he claims that Orion told him, it's up to you. We'll release it either way. But he went along with them. So, you know, it wasn't a big fight. It doesn't sound like. This is what we prefer. Here's what the audience feedback is. But you do it. You do your thing. All righty.
Yes.
All righty.
Monkey shines.
So we're going to move on to feedback. Feedback. And this is kind of fun, I think.
We've got feedback.
I picked, if you remember way back when, The Trcic. So I'm going to read this one. And this is from a new listener that's commented on several things, Pulse. And I don't know, cool. YouTube has started changing. They used to put I don't know what the difference is. They used to put the handle on there, but now they put the username. So before it just said Pulse, now it says Pulse 4503.
Wait, what? Is there a difference?
I don't. It's the same person, I think, but it's sort of like
probably if you want to reply to them or
right
email them or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyway, so about The Trcic, he says, you're well informed, but in case you don't know, Suavi made an excellent noir in 2006 with a few whorish sequences. The title is The Goodbye Kiss, or in Italian, Arrivederci Amore Ciao. A must-see for fans. So I was trying to find that. It's not easy to find. There's not even a Blu-ray available, at least not in the U.S. There's a DVD. So that's something to look out for. I'm gonna look for that because that sounds really interesting.
Cool. And he will buy the Blu-ray.
If there's a Blu-ray, I'll buy it. Yeah. And he goes on and says, "I'm really shocked at how well informed you are."
Well, he hasn't listened to this episode yet!
Exclamation point! Yeah. The Trcic. It's an unusual, interesting topic. Yes, when this was released in 1989, the Italian Censorship Commission gave the movie the strictest rating. You had to be at least 18 years old to watch it. Apparently due to a few very violent scenes, plus a couple of scenes disrespectful to religion. Oh, of course.
That's really what it was.
Overall, it's really not a gory film.
Yeah. But there's things in there kids shouldn't watch. Though.
Right. 2 years later, the rating was lowered to 14. Don't know whether they made
that's
some
not
cuts or
though.
not.
It's teenager.
Also, the scene in which the lid of the tomb falls into the never-ending blackness is terrific, along with the opening set in the medieval times and the tree rising up from the underground.
Yes.
I remember that tomb was nasty. Fun fact, this film was mainly shot in Budapest, where the Gothic church was located.
Cool.
All right.
Budapest. Alrighty then.
Who wants to take? And now, I'm going to do this one too because I'm going to edit it as we go. For number 226, The Company of Wolves. Lone Wolf. Was a regular commenter, and we hadn't heard from him for a while. And he says, "First, let me start by apologizing for my long absence. But I'm back on my feet now. So I'm happy you guys reviewed this little gem of a film. It was Ginger Snaps before Ginger Snaps in the way that it explored a girl's coming of age. To be honest, I think Ginger Snaps understood that assignment better. Great actors, great practical effects, but the story structure was confusing. Hope you guys are doing well and stay safe."
Thanks, Lone Wolf. Good to have you back.
I hope
it's great to have you back,
well.
Lone Wolf.
And I feel that. Yeah.
We were thinking about you, so
Yeah.
glad you checked in. And so he goes on a roll here. So, Crystal, why don't you take this one? 227, Vampire's Kiss from
Okay,
Lone Wolf.
I love this. Crystal and I have a psychic link. Ooh. Actually, I did the ooh. He's not nearly that creepy. Because I was gonna bring up the American Psycho comparison. Yep. See, it was so good. It was so obvious, right? I agree that this is one of Nick Cage's best performances, even if only for the memes. Totally. He is the Laurence Olivier of overactors. Yes.
True that.
I like that.
Yep,
I
we
like
could all
that.
agree
Great
on that.
description.
Maria Conchita Alonso. Man, what a hottie she was during the 80s. That scene of her at home changing clothes made me feel a certain type of way.
Make you feel a certain type of way.
Side note, did anyone notice that Nick Cage near the end of Mandy starts to look like the extremely dirty bounty hunter that raises him in a Raising Arizona, or is it just me?
Randall Tex Cobb?
Dear God, yeah.
He did.
Now I've really got to wrap my head around that too.
He was looking a little wild and crazy.
A little crusty, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another fun discussion by the crew. I got to catch up though. Wolfman, ouch. Ow! Okay, see?
All right, baby, all right. This is
Totally.
Okay, the next one is episode 228, Zombie Nightmare from Lone Wolf. And that was yours, Chad. Let's take that one.
All right. Lone Wolf says, you guys almost destroyed the space-time continuum by comparing this terrible zombie movie nightmare crap, to my favorite movie of all time, The Crow. I'd say The Wraith is a better comparison. I don't...
What?
I think we brought up that it was similar but in tone because... but I think the comic book came out before the movie did, I think. If anybody, the Zombie Nightmare ripped off The Crow, but there's no comparison. I just thought it was kind of ripping off that storyline, I think. But anyway, I'd say The Wraith, which is a pretty good movie as I remember it with Charlie Sheen, is a better comparison. Speaking of The Crow, Zombie Nightmare does have a small connection to it. Tia Carrere was in Showdown in Little Tokyo, which also starred the late great Brandon Lee. And it's a terrible movie. Dolph Lundgren was in that too. I had so much fun listening to this episode. Jeff had my sides aching when he talked like Billy Graham. Superstar Billy Graham or the Billy Graham the
Yeah. Remember he was supposed to be in it, and there was a couple stories with that movie where he showed up and nobody went to pick him up at the airport.
Oh, that's right.
He left him at the airport for 10 hours, so he said he caught a plane out of there. Sayonara, baby. All right, episode 229, Chud, which was mine, so I'm going to take this, also from Lone Wolf. I totally agree with Bill on this one. Chud is a bit too preachy. In fact, I'd say that it's Jaws done the wrong way. Spielberg hid the shark with superb acting and cinematography. Once you saw the shark, it only heightened the film's greatness. Chud tries to do the same thing with the acting and plot, but the payoff isn't as effective because the monsters, while not too shabby, aren't enough to take you fully away from this film's version of Mayor Vaughn and his evil toxic waste plot. I think 1980s Alligator has a better monster plot ratio than Chud. That being said, I loved the performances of Daniel Stern and John Hurd. Oh, and the sequel? I only saw it once and never want to see it again.
Bud Chud.
Laugh till I cry emoji. Yeah. Okay. So here's some comments from Ralph Miller on 233, the Loch Ness Monster.
Ralph Miller.
Who wants that one?
I'll take.
Okay, yeah. No, it's
I-
yours. You already said it.
See, okay.
No, you got it.
Ralph Miller, who still holds a grudge against me for the Sinbad movie, says,
That's the best, actually.
thanks for mentioning me on your Loch Ness horror episode. Look out, world. I just earned infinite bragging rights. I told you guys. I told you he had his hand in that somehow. And I'm on Team Crystal. My buddies and I are going to have lots of laughs with this one. Ordinarily, I cannot abide Larry Buchanan films, but in this case, I'll make an exception. The Scottish accents and goofy monster clinch it for me. At least this shabby sea serpent took some effort to make, which is way more than I could say for other LB movie monsters.
You know, we kind of bashed it, but it definitely took more effort than Ping Pong Ball Eyes.
Ping Pong Ball Eyes.
Yeah, that was Bill's, one of Buchanan's other movies, had a creature with ping pong balls for eyes. Anyway,
Which is
Crystal,
spooky as it is.
Thanks, Ralph. Love you as always.
Yes. Thanks, Ralph. You're the best.
He is pretty cool guy.
That's what he wanted.
Yeah.
Hey, Crystal, you want to take this one from Mikey Z on the Loch Ness Monster?
I'd see Howling. Is that where it starts?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I see. Okay. Howling. Yeah, I had to do it that way. Is a masterpiece.
Yeah, I couldn't believe
compared
that
to
either.
Howling 2 is
compared to this Frankenstein Island is coherent. Compared to this Frankenstein Island is coherent. Fair enough. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, and those
all
are
caps.
with all caps. So he's like yelling at us. So we
Yes.
get it. Yes.
Howling 2, Howling 2 is a masterpiece compared to this. Frankenstein Island is coherent. That's how it is. I don't want to yell and actually hurt your ears. I generally value the insightful, erudite. Okay.
Erudite.
F you. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Musings of our beloved Jerry Chandler.
Stephen King uses that word all the time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to have to kill someone around here.
This show is taking a terrible.
It is.
Okay, wait. Musings of our beloved Jerry Chandler, but this is the worst film ever discussed by the Decades of Horror staff. Worse than The Mutilator, The Brainiac, The Possessed, Cannibal Apocalypse, The Ripper, and dozens of other offerings. I mean, it's so bad, though. That's why it's funny. I can do better Scottish accents, better than these thespians. I can do better.
Chad?
I can do better.
I can do better.
I can do better. Writing and better. I can.
Better.
Dear God, I will never. And it's like, how am I 65% Scottish and I can't do it? But it doesn't matter. The cinematography is totally absent, as was the lighting of said photography. The acting is bad. Nessie, bad. Nessie is about the only decent thing in this movie. True. And thankfully appeared again in Amazon Women on the Moon. Thank you, Jerry Chandler, for vindicating me of Frankenstein Island.
You know, these two, Jerry and Michael, have seemed to become good friends, and both of them have issues that need to be dealt with.
I know. Well, then I commented to Mikey about, I said, wait, what about God Monster of Indian Flats and Ape? So then he responds with that last paragraph there.
Okay. God Monster of Indian Flats and Ape had, while very minor entertainment value, TLNH is okay. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. Had me not only scratching my head, but wondering why I was born in an era that this was produced so that I could bear witness to it. Dear God, that's so dramatic.
I will watch God
That's
Monster.
so dramatic, and I like drama, so I kind of love that. But that's hilarious, Mikey.
Okay. You know what? We're down to 2 more, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and do these. Bill did this one. This is Pulse again on episode 234, Tenebrae. And he is basically confirms that we were saying it right, just like the lady in the commentary said it. Tenebrae.
Tenebrae.
Tenebrae, we were confusing about it. Fun fact, Suspiria is maybe Latin. Not sure, though. It's a word sounding a lot like sospiri, sighs in Italian. The the original title is actually Tenebrae without the final A. It's an Italian word meaning darkness and obscurity. And I think we
Yes,
said that.
like we talked about that. Yeah.
Part of the idea was how I guess we added the A in the US hoping people would pronounce it right. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. So appreciate it, Pulse, though.
Yes.
We need to have our pronunciations corrected. And finally, one from Gregory Crosby, our poet laureate. I'm finally watching films from upcoming episodes before the episodes drop. Last night was a double feature of the Dunwich Horror and Tenebrae. Fortunately, I watched Tenebrae second. An excellent giallo with brilliant kills. It really is anchored, as Joe Bob Briggs pointed out, on Shudder by Tony Francios's performance. He really sells the twist, which isn't entirely ridiculous. Though I'd love to know where he found a fake blood-spurting straight razor so quickly and why he thought he might even need one.
Yeah, seriously.
Perhaps that's just how Peter Neal's plots typically work. Yeah, he played the character.
It's like,
Peter
really?
Neal.
You had that all planned, huh?
We're all with you, Gregory. And we should have put a little more emphasis on Tony Francios's performance because it was excellent.
Yeah, it was.
And Gregory goes on to say, also as a man who wears hats, I'm pleased to see such sartorial enthusiasm as John Saxon demonstrates. Thanks again, crew.
Thank you, Greg.
P.S. New fake band name, John Saxon's Hat.
Actually, that would be a great band name.
It would be. It would be.
Everyone knows who John Saxon is.
All right, we're running late. There's other people waiting
we gotta go.
for us on another line. So that's it for this episode. But every 2 weeks, we'll be focusing on a specific film released between 1980 and 1989. Next up, we tag on one chosen by Chad.
Uh-oh.
The Incubus from 1981.
Oh, wow. Isn't that the one where you see the guy
sounds
on her
dirty.
chest and he's looking? Okay.
Sounds
I don't remember it, but I
Currently
have seen
streaming on Tubi and Pluto TV if you want to watch it before that.
Yeah,
Yes, I
from
remember the photo.
Ray Russell, who
Ray Russell
wrote the Mr. Sardonicus. So anyway, and John Cassavetes, I think, is on it currently on Tubi and Pluto TV. Make sure you join us for that one. Plenty of ways to stay in touch. Please send feedback to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com or leave comments on Gruesome Magazine's YouTube channel, Gruesome Magazine's HNR and DOH podcast Facebook group, our website, gruesomemagazine.com, or leave a review. You can also leave a review on iTunes. So, comments on the YouTube channel is the easiest to collect, but I make the rounds usually. So that's cool. Send emails, whatever. We love you guys and really appreciate the comments.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, it's my favorite.
So catch us again here in 2 weeks for another great horror movie of the 1980s, as only decades of horror can do it. Thanks, Chad. Thanks, Crystal. Bill, you can come out of the bathroom now.
He's like a dog when it thunders. He just goes and hides somewhere. So.
Say good night,
Oh my
guys.
God, we had that today. I had that today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Say good night.
Good night.
Night.